How's it going, everybody? RyeSquad here today, and we are back with your Toledo Underdogs and our Underdogs to Champion series. And guys, we're going to the offseason of the 2030 offseason. We're in this, right? And we just came off of a really disappointing season. Now, we did do quite a bit better down the stretch, but we put ourselves in such a big hole to start the season. 81 points through an 82-game season is not where we wanted to be. Last season, we were in the 90 points. Obviously, our division is incredibly tough, as you can see. The Panthers in 6th place had 93 points and missed the playoffs. The Metropolitan had 94 as their third-seeded team, and everybody else had 84 or fewer. So really, it's a product of our division being very, very tough. Now, one thing we do need to keep an eye out for is, I think, the defense, right? Like, not our defense themselves, but the team defense. And I'm hoping that Cooper Lutz jumps and grows and develops, because I think that might solve a problem we're looking for here. But Brad Lambert probably should be the first line center. He's been the best player on the team for the last 2 seasons, and he's a bona fide center. Looking at Gavin McKenna's face-off percentage, it's downright horrible. So he definitely needs to play on the wing. He's going to be a left winger for the rest of his career with us. But I mean, you look at the top 6, and I think it's fine. I think probably this is the time to move on from Isaac Rosen. He's going to have $5.6 million. He's going to need a contract extension after next season, right? He's going into the last year of his deal. He's 27. It's crazy to think that like him and Yuri Kulik are already in their mid to late 20s. So they're at their peak. And really what we need to do now is figure out a way to get this team flowing and working. Because if Cooper Lutz does develop, we have a crazy top 6. And then maybe just more defensive-minded players down here for the third line, like Isaac Rosen. Not what I would consider a defensive-minded player. Not awful, but I think we can do better than Isaac Rosen there for the third line. And then really Michelli can slide over to the third line. Taking a look at the blue line, Harold Shaw and Chubarov, they're fine. Perrick, Johnson, right? I don't really see too big of an issue with our blue line. I feel like these guys are developing, they're growing, and they're really what we need. And then in goal, Lincoln Gardner's up to an 85. So really, I'm not entirely sure what cost us the season, and that's the most frustrating part. Hopefully McKenna does finally get into the 90s, because he's a medium franchise. And, well, he's still young, right? He's still, how old is he here? He is, load please, 22 years old, right? So he's still got time, but as a minus 11, I need him to work on probably his defense, maybe his stick checking. Overall, he's a really, really strong player. You can see his offensive awareness and puck control and passing, and his shots even good. But the defensive category, 91 defensive awareness, maybe his stick checking needs to be improved, and his shot blocking. But I'm not really asking this guy to block shots, right? So hopefully he's able to grow. I think we just run it back with this team. Maybe a coaching change is needed. Damian Sharp, I think. What can we talk to him about? Is there a potential conversation? No, he just wants to talk about the game plan because the season's technically not over yet. I just have to advance a day, and then we'll be officially eliminated from the postseason. But if we take a look at our coaching staff, maybe we need to find some secondary coaches that have better defense, right? Like Nemez here. I mean, I guess it's they're the assistant coach, and then we've got Tuzolino here, who's actually a pretty solid associate coach. A- defense for Sharp, right? And he just really looks good all around. Maybe the special teams are a deficiency, but A- teaches forwards, offensive-minded. So the goal was to make the postseason this year, and we just aren't going to hit that. I wonder if Selleck, the AHL head coach, I mean, A+ power play, probably not worth calling up because the penalty's so bad. Penalty kill, I should say. I don't know. There's not really much I can do. So we are just going to go ahead and keep going and just kind of see what options are there for us. See who develops, see where we can improve. And I'm going to take a bit of a deeper dive into everybody's stats and see just what I can figure out with this team. Sorry, have to jump back in. I was looking at penalty minutes to see if maybe we're being shorthanded a ton. Gustav Chubarov has 19 fights. The dude has 19 fights this season. In 82 games, he's getting in a fight every 4th game. That is crazy. So that's how he's racking up his penalty minutes. I mean, he's got almost 100 of his penalty minutes just from fights. So really, he's down at like 47, but that is crazy, the fact that he's fighting so much. And he is our number 1 defenseman. So I don't know, maybe I'll see if I can adjust that or get him to stop doing that. But man, that is crazy. And there we go, guys. Connor Bedard wins a Stanley Cup with the Chicago Blackhawks. And in the Calder Cup, it is the Hershey Bears winning there. The new salary cap is 104 with a minimum of 81. So 104 is probably, we're finally not looking at the floor, right? We're looking at the ceiling. And we're going to win the lottery. We're going up from 10 We've won the lottery from 10th. We jump all the way from 10 to 1. We actually win the lottery for like the first time ever. I mean, we've tanked and we've not won the lottery, but now we win it and we're 10th. And then St. Louis jumps from 5 to 2. Holy mackerel, guys. We now have the first overall draft pick. Let's take a look at the draft class and who is out there. Okay, there's a couple players. Oh man, of all years, there's no more franchise player. But Kim Jarnqvist looks really, really good. NHL ready. Same thing with Yuri Brizgalov, another sniper who's 5'10". This guy doesn't look as good here. Stanislav Vorobyev, Reichs, and then Noakes. I mean, I don't know. I think I've got to go with the consensus number 1 overall pick, right? I'm not just going to overthink it here and go with somebody other than the number 1. It's a two-way forward too, which is actually, I mean, it might be he might be a two-way forward. A+ shooting, A+ puck skills, plays like Mikko Koivu. That's actually kind of the player we really need right now. Maybe the Brad Lambert successor. But for a season where we kind of flamed out and underperformed to then win the lottery, that is awesome. We now have the number 1 overall pick, and Kim Jarnqvist is likely going to be our guy. Oh my goodness, guys. We may have a gem on our hands. Tero Valen here has just grown like a fiend, now up to a 79. I don't even know where like they were playing in Rochester. This is why I'm playing my low elites, but 10 natural growth, 15 to the offensive awareness now. The shot still isn't great, but the defensive awareness looks really, really good now. This is a player to keep an eye on. They are growing tremendously. And then Gavin McKenna now up to a 91 overall. Looks like the franchise player that we were promised. Lincoln Gardner's up to an 86. So you can see some of these guys have grown tremendously. I believe Trudeau even here could be a guy to look out for. Shot blocking and stick checking grew, and so did the strength and the physical. We love to see that. I believe the green means it's mostly natural growth, where the orange is statistical growth. I'm going to take a look at that really quickly. Yeah, statistical growth, no natural growth here. But green for Lincoln Gardner is likely meaning, holy mackerel, look at the puck control. Like the poise by 7, rebound control and recovery up to 89 and 90. Oh yeah, guys, things are going really, really well. And then, yeah, so you see, I'm starting to figure this out myself. Harold Shaw with the orange means it's mostly statistical growth. We did get the +1 to poise, and I think that's good because our young guys now will have some poise when we make the playoffs. But love to see a guy here in Tero Valen just jump as the low elite. So guys, before we get into the draft, I was just checking out the contracts we need to sign. Yuri Kulik is the big one, the only one really that we need to extend. In 5 years, it's $7.5 million for a guy that's playing in our top 6. I feel like absolutely makes sense. 7.2% of the cap. Our cap outlook right now is 86 out of 104. So we have just under 20 million. You can see 17 and a half there is what they're saying we have. He would still, signing this contract would still leave us with 10 million available. So I see it as a no-brainer. He's going to take a look at it and get back to us. I honestly think I want to bring back, not sure about, what is it, Jack Drury here? Yeah, Jack Drury really didn't do much. I did have 20 points, right? So that didn't look bad. We'll discuss this after the draft, but just wanted to take a look quickly at what we're seeing here. I mean, guys, it's going to be Gardner, Rotzloff, and then in the system, Nico Dawes can go because Phillips, Pitkanen is growing a ton. Langenbrunner is growing a ton. So I think it's time we sign Pitkanen on maybe Tikhonov finds his way with Rosen for a good pick. And here we go, guys. We are now ready to make the number 1 overall pick. There's no doubt in my mind it's going to be Kim Jarnqvist. I'm not sure exactly the type. I'm thinking it is going to be he is going to be a two-way forward. But I mean, just they're the number 1 overall pick for a reason. I don't need to overlook him and go after a guy like Yuri Brizgalov. Honestly, I think Jarnqvist as an elite two-way forward. Maybe they're not a two-way forward. Maybe there's something else, but it's exactly the kind of player we need right now because we got a lot of snipers, we got a lot of playmakers. Right, Cooper Lutz, we got Gavin McKenna as the playmaker, and he'll just follow in the footsteps of Brad Lambert. So Kim Jarnqvist, welcome to the Toledo Underdogs. An 83 overall sniper, okay, not a two-way forward, is a sniper. 83, holy mackerel. You know what? I may let this guy develop for another season, not sign him, and then sign his contract next season. So, I mean, he would just step in and be an absolute stud, but he's not exactly the kind of guy I want to bring into the team right now. And honestly, the defensive category is really good, so I can understand why our scouts may have thought that he was a two-way forward. But honestly, guys, you let me know. should I sign Kim Charnqvist, or should I let them develop for a year and then bring him in next year? Because we're kind of in the position where an 83, they're going to be on our third line, sure, as a sniper. Is it what we need right now? I mean, we'll have space with Rosen gone, so it'll be Michelli, Charnqvist, and Martone, which could be really good. Our top 6 is locked in, and then the fourth line just stays as the fourth line. I think we could absolutely do that. I don't know. I'm torn, but I'm not going to sign him. You guys let me know. Let him develop or sign him and bring him in. And we are going to move on from Tikhonov and Rosen. Rosen's making 5.6 next season. Tikhonov is kind of the odd man out when it comes to our goaltenders. I don't want to have too many goalies in the org anyway, in case we draft one this year. And I think it's time that we get some of these high elite these elite goaltenders signed. 87th overall is the highest we can get, as well as a 4th next year. I think I'm fine with this, guys. I'm going to accept this trade. Thank you, Rosen, for your service, but you really just are kind of surplus to requirements at this point. As a third line winger, not really doing it for us, and it's kind of redundant with Michelli. So we are going to accept this trade. Thank you, Isaac Rosen. So just popping back in, the Blues made their selection. It is Brizgalov, right wing sniper as well. So you can see between the two players, very, very similar, but Jarnqvist has got a better defensive category, and not quite as good of a... They're very similar players. It's very neck and neck, and I'm just happy to have the guy that can take... I mean, they both can take faceoffs, but I'll take the natural center. So, guys, we are going to move up in the draft. We're moving up to 14th with the Minnesota Wild. We are going to give up our first, our second, as well as the Rangers' third that we just acquired. And we're going up because there's a guy that I like the makeup of. Rocky Reinprecht is a guy that 3-bar medium elite left winger. I mean, our scouts think he's got a great shot, potentially 2 years away. I mean, this is, from all the information that I have, looks like a fantastic player. Actually, Ulf Oberg is 1 year away from the NHL. Now, the question is it a player who's like 1 year away like Edwards here? I mean, I kind of want to take the swing on the guy that's 3-bar medium elite, and is 2 years away. I mean, could be 1 year away. I'm going to go with Rocky Reinprecht, the guy that I wanted to get all along. But Ulf Oberg is definitely an option for us. But I'm going to go with Rocky Reinprecht. Welcome to the Toledo Underdogs, and we have a 2-way forward medium top 6. So we did give up quite a bit for that, but 6'3" looks pretty well rounded for us. So definitely a player that I would like to keep an eye on, and I'm not upset with passing on Ulf Oberg. Oh, maybe, I mean, we could still go up for Florida's pick. I think we're just going to take a look at Oberg. Yeah, so they're basically the same player. I like the fact that we got the 2-way forward. Really didn't miss out on anything there, but I was happy to take the swing on a potential medium elite. Turned out to be medium top 6, 72, 2-way forward, but I'm satisfied with that for sure. And here we go, guys. Second round pick, 48th overall. We are going to get ourselves a low elite gem in Tristan Albert. 3 years away, low elite. Obviously, you know, this is the type of player that I'm going to sign and play in Rochester. So Tristan Albert, welcome to the Toledo Underdogs. 66 overall, low elite playmaker, and we've had some success developing low elites, so I feel very excited about that pick. All right, so the next guy we're going to take is Landon Reasoner, low elite, 3-bar low elite, right? Worth the shot, is 4 years away, so they're a little bit on the outside looking in, but they are 17, playing for the Halifax Mooseheads, so I appreciate that. I can just let them grow in the CHL, but we're going to take Reasoner. Hopefully we get lucky. Low top 6 forward. Not the greatest, but not the worst. Another sniper to add to our already offensive core. Next, we're going to take Desmond Chen, 18 years old, medium top 6 at this point in the draft. Pretty far away, but could be trade bait, could be somebody to grow. Who knows? But 18, medium top 6. Another forward playmaker. I'll take it. So here we go. Let's make the pick, and they are 51 overall, but hey, medium top 6 here. Late in the third round, I will absolutely take. And just like that, our draft is over. Charnqvist, Rocky Reinprecht, Tristan Albert, Landon Reasoner, and Desmond Chen. I'm very happy with all of these guys. They all have a decent shot of making the NHL, especially Charnqvist. And Yuri Kulik is going to accept the contract we offered him, 5 years at $7.5 million. And now we're looking pretty good. We do need to re-sign our coach. So if there was ever a time to move on from a coach, it'd be right now. But Damian Sharp, I think, has been too good for us. I mean, you take a look at what he did when he was here. He's got great chemistry with Tuzolino. He doesn't work with Buzek, but I'm not too worried about it. But I mean, as far as what he's done in Toledo for us, I mean, 22, 21, and 6, then 37, 38, and 7. I mean, I guess, wait. Oh, was he did I not give him the full term tag? What happened to his 28-27 season, which happened to be his best season where we made the playoffs and did pretty well. Either way, I think we got to bring him back. I think, as an underdog coach, I think he's got to stay. And since we were able to get Yuri Kulik signed early, there's really not much we need to be doing with the roster. Taking a look at the goaltenders, we'll build from the back out. We got Gardner and Rotzloff, Phillips and Pitkinen. I think any of these three could jump enough to be our backup goaltender next season. And then obviously Lincoln Gardner does need a contract extension. We'll visit that at the start of free agency, but oh my goodness, he developed 4 X factors. X-Ray handled it, Sponge and Last Stand. Oh my goodness, we have a stud goaltender on our hands. I didn't even realize that, but we will have to extend him for sure. Now let's take a look at the blue line. We've got Chubarov and Perek. Shaw no longer is the second best, but we still have time for that one. So it's Chubarov and Shaw still, Perek and Johnson, Heinola and Thompson, with Trudeau potentially being the 7th defenseman or Thompson slipping back into that role. Well, Trudeau gets the nod. Then we've got Pearson, Novikov, Komarov I'm going to try and bring back, Seabrook, Bork, and Pedersen. I probably do need to sign a 7th defenseman for the AHL, but the blue line's in a really healthy spot here. We got a lot of options, a lot of development, and I think our cap situation's in a pretty good spot, although I am just noticing that Shaw, Johnson, and Heinola all need a contract extension, so we'll have to discuss that one on the first. Then taking a look at the forward core, we've got McKenna, Lambert, and Tippett, Zadina, Kulik, and Lutz. I think that's a tremendous top 6. Then the third line would be Michelli, Martone, and Ostlund. I'm still not sure if I want to give Ostlund that third line center role. He's got a great face-off category. I'd like to see him improve his stick checking a little bit, but as a guy that could be an offensive threat for us as the third line guy, yeah, you know what? Let's talk to him because he's got good face-off. So let's work on his two-way game, shot blocking and stick checking. There we go. Yeah. Yep, that's where he could use the most work. So if we get +2 there, I'd be really happy to see that stick checking get into the 81, 80, right? It's certainly make me feel a lot better. But he could be a really offensive-minded third-line center with Martone and Michelli. Martone at $7.5 million, though, is starting to not look great. He looks like he could be phenomenal, but man, his skating is terrible. And then the fourth line of Vallon, Beck, and Lavin. I really think that it's time for Tyler Lavin and Taro Vallon to make the NHL roster. Lavin played in the NHL last year, wasn't fantastic, but only played 7.5 minutes. So let's be honest, not really his fault. Didn't really have much he could do to turn around the team. But as a fourth line forward who's young and developing, a first-round pick of the Stars, very, very satisfied. And then AHL, looking like it is. We've got our low elites getting their contracts and hopefully going to get their ice time. We'll see about these two guys, the low top 6. Obviously, ice time is important, but I'd rather give it to a low elite player. So there we go. That is the re-sign phase. Reinprecht, I don't think I'm going to sign him, right? I'd rather let the medium guys develop and let the low guys play because the low guys need ice time and the medium guys don't necessarily need it. But Charnquist, that's an interesting one for me. I kind of want to kick that can down the road because Cooper Lutz is going to ask for an extension, right? We've got quite a few players who are expiring next season, right? We'll obviously get to the 1st of the July, and then we can take a look at who needs a new contract. And just looking at this, you can see there's already a few guys that I'm a little worried about. And here we are at the start of free agency. And before I even look at the free agents, because you guys know we can't splash the cash there, we need to take a look at all the expiring contracts here. Cooper Lutz, Harold Shaw, 2 studs, right? Cooper Lutz is a goal scorer. He was born to score goals. Just does it at will in the sim. He's had 30 goals since he entered the NHL, 23, 33. Hopefully he gets to 43 and he gets a point per game because I think this guy is just built in the game somewhere in the back end. He's built to be a difference maker. And hopefully we can get him to scheme fit. But that's not a discussion for right now. But goaltenders, Gardner obviously, wasn't fantastic, 904, 308. But you could see that when we got to the postseason, let's take a look at the playoff stats. There you go. He was phenomenal in the postseason, and now he's got X factors. So I want to start by locking up Lincoln Gardner. What kind of contract extension is he asking for? 2 years at $7 million? Oh my God. I don't know. He's an UFA at expiry of this contract, but 7.6. He loves the org, so maybe I can. Oh, he's loving the contract. He still loves the contract. Okay, now it's starting to drop off a bit. 3. Oh yeah, he wants a two-year deal. Can I entice him with an 8-year deal? Nope, he has no interest in that whatsoever. He wants a short-term deal. So 2 years. I feel like 6.75 would be a good deal for him. Just nudge him along because obviously his ask goes up exponentially as we get to 4 years. I mean, we could do a 4-year deal at like maybe, yeah, $8 million for a goaltender that we haven't seen do it in the NHL yet, and we have so much depth behind him. I mean, three years, $8 million, or 2 years at 6.8. I think actually, how much would he want for 3 years? Could I get him at 7.5? For 3 years, maybe 3 years at $7.5 million for Lincoln Gardner. We have 22.8 remaining, but I mean, we may need to say goodbye to some of our beloved players at this point, which is why Rosen leaving, giving us 5.6 this year, was kind of big, and we don't have to worry about extending him. But I think maybe 3 years at $7.5 million is pretty good. I think that's a good spot for him, and if he accepts it, you know, we'll be there. But obviously, Rotzloff and yeah, our goaltending situation is really good. So you can see in the system, we still have Pitkinen, the high elite. Now he's 76 at 19. He's got room to grow, but for him to catch where Gardner is, it might be a minute. Looking at all skaters again, taking a look at the expiring contracts, it's Lutz and Shaw. How much does Cooper Lutz want? Because I'm worried about him. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to lock him up at 5 years at maybe 5.75. I think that's a steal of a contract for this guy. He'd be a UFA upon expiry. I mean, yeah, 5 years at 5.85. I think I would do that in a heartbeat because I'm just going to, yeah, sure. I'm going to give him a no movement clause because, look, it doesn't kick in until 1 year. So if I give him 6 years, I could give him 6 years at 5.85. I could give him a 6x6 too with a no movement clause in the last 2. I mean, at that point, he's going to be elite. So I think this is a no-brainer. To give him 4 years where I can move him, and if he turns out to be the wrong guy, so be it. But at $6 million, 6 years, 86, he's an elite goal scorer. I think it's a no-brainer to give him that deal. And he is going to take a few days to get back to me. And then Harold Shaw, same thing. I want to offer him an extension. So we've got, what, 7.5 out there. Okay. So a 4-year deal, 5-year. We could give him a no-movement clause, too, at the end of it. Wow, and that really jumps his interest. 5 years at $6 million for a guy like Harold Shaw to give him 1 year of a no movement clause. I'll take that. I can save some money. It's a 1 year no movement clause. I am absolutely interested in that. So $12.5 million between Shaw and Lutz. Absolutely, I want to do that deal. Get them locked up for 5 and 6 years. They're both medium elite in the mid. I mean, he's worth it right now, right? So offer him that contract, and there we go. And then it just means that maybe we can't keep a Ryan Johnson or a Heinola. I mean, I don't know how much they would want. He's wow. Heinola definitely needs to go at some point. 82 is that's just not worth it. So I might even move on from him now. Ryan Johnson, on the other hand, is asking for what? Yeah, the same price for a no movement clause. That would be a bad idea to give him because it's every year of the contract. But I mean, like, yeah, it might be time to say goodbye to both of them. He wants 6 years at this. Like, he's 28. I think I'm going to move on from Heinola, and then we'll just deal with the defense core. Hoping that Trudeau or Pearson develop, right? I mean, Jack Thompson and Trudeau, yeah, I might as well get what I can for Heinola. So the Ducks are offering a 3rd and a 4th. That's about the best trade I could find. I'll take a 3rd and a 4th for Heinola, and we'll just lean on the young guns. And there we go. Harold Shaw is going to accept the contract extension. Met the clause expectation. Yeah, that is a win. Except, okay, despite preferring a smaller market. Oh, okay. I thought we are a small market. And then Cooper Lutz is also going to accept his contract. So guys, we are in a very, very healthy position. And taking a look at our contracts now, you can see that Cooper Lutz here, $6 million. That is, I think, such a great deal. And then a couple down here, you got Shaw at $6 million as well. So it's $12 million for these guys. They're both elite. They're both 20. I think we're locking them up as part of the long-term future, right? Zadina and Tippett, guys that, I mean, Zadina may be casualty here in the near future, but I'm very, very happy with it. So if we take a look at all the expiring, if we wanted to sign Oslin or Ryan Johnson again, how much cap space do we have? We do have 6.1 million, so we do have the opportunity to sign Ryan Johnson should we want to. And I could give him a no movement clause for 1 year at 5.75 kind of extension. I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts about this. This would get us right to the cap. But I think I'm okay with where we're at. I mean, look, Ristolainen here, low elite, may need a contract. Tuomo Ristolainen is a really, really good player, actually. So offer the extension. How many years can I get you for? And just give you the $1 million for 3. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Give me that deal any day of the week. Low elite. I should probably focus on that right now, and that's the only low elite guy we have. So really, there's not many expiring contracts. We've got our team pretty well locked down. Langenbrunner is going to need a contract, and Ratzlaff now up to an 80. So I told you guys, I knew somebody was going to develop into that backup for us. So I'm very, very pleased. Really no free agents to note. I did sign like a guy for Rochester, and I signed a defenseman as well. So two Rochester players. And I brought in a couple coaches for Rochester. Otherwise, everybody's back. So let's go take a look at the roster and the lines. Finally made it through all the trade offers. We have a surplus of young players, and everybody's trying to give me their current talent. Unfortunately, I can't do that. We still can't acquire anybody above an 80. So let's take a look at the lines. How did we develop and grow in the offseason? And okay, Cooper Lutz up to an 87, fits the top line with a +5. That's what we wanted to see. We know Gavin McKenna is a passer, and so is Zadina. Then we take a look at the second line with Kulik, Lambert, and Tippett. I like that a lot. A sniper, a two-way forward, and a sniper. They're all kind of goal scorers, so we'll see how this turns out. Valen, Taro Valen, the low elite playmaker. We call him, look at that. Look at the playmaking stats, right? This is the kind of guy that, oh man, this is awesome. 84 overall, probably better than Noah Ostlund. Does he take faceoffs well? He does not. So unfortunately, Ostlund's still the only guy we can have that plays that third line center position. And the fourth line is Beck, Valen, and Lavin. I mean, guys, the depth on this team is crazy. Maybe a third line center would be better, but I mean, a +5, a +3, a +2, and a +1, I'll take that any day. The second line, I think, is just a beastly second line. All these guys fit the second line so well. Yuri Kulik, perfect for that line. Now, Zadina, back up to the top line. It's been a minute, but he's back. He's a playmaker with Cooper Lutz being the sniper. And Cooper Lutz may score 70 goals this year, guys. He just might with Gavin McKenna and Zadina on his wings. So let's take a look at the blue line. We've got Shaw and Chubarov again, Perrick and Johnson, and then Pearson and Thompson. I'll take that. Walter Pearson fits the middle pairing fine. Jack Thompson, we know he's been fine. Scratched. We've got Haltonen. Trudeau is an 80 overall. Doesn't quite fit the third pairing as well. So let's take a look if we can swap him in there, because Jack Thompson can play left or right D. And then we swap Walter Pearson out for Trudeau. And there we go. Rene Trudeau here is what is he? Pinch cycle. And he doesn't really fit the it's balance. I mean, it is what it is. And he's a defensive defenseman too. So look at that defensive category. Not the best offensively, but it's a different look for us. And we got two options there. I think letting Heinola go and getting a third and a fourth, it was great. And now we've got 88 overall Lincoln Gardner. He's listed as an elite goalie. Oh man, he is an elite goaltender for sure. And he's still signed to that ELC. He's got 3 years at, I forgot what it was, like 7.5 million, 3 years, 7.5 million coming up after this. Oh yeah, this team is looking really, really good. I'm really, really happy with how Cooper Lutz has developed. I think his defensive category got a lot better. Gavin McKenna, Yuri Kul, we asked some players to improve on some stuff. Lambert maybe improved his passing. I'm not entirely sure. Porter Martone, I asked him to improve his skating. I don't think it did anything, right? So honestly, guys, this team looks so good. Taking a look at the AHL with Rochester, the head coach preferred lines. Alexeev here is a low bottom six, so maybe we can bring in somebody, maybe a couple players down here. But Victor Neuchev, medium bottom six. So we've got some guys, pick a right in here, the low elite. We've got Marshall Dolan. Yeah, some low players, but yeah, okay. So Tuomo Ristolainen, 78 low elite. Yeah, I definitely want him playing. We get a +2 over Van Barkenau. Barnacow, we get a +2 no matter what, so we'll just do that and play Marshall Dolan there. Pick a Reinen is a center, so we'll just move him over. And then the blue line in Rochester, also looking pretty good. Willie Seabrook, I know, is a low elite defender at 23. Defensive defenseman, looking decent. Matty Pedersen, low elite at 21. We've got Nikita Novikov and Vesla, oh my God, Komarov here as our top defensive pairing. And then in goal, Leonardo Phillips is, a backup goaltender, medium elite Pitkanen is high elite. We've got a plethora of starting goaltenders, so I might let Leonardo Phillips take the AHL for one more year, and then he can come up and replace Scott Ratzlaff. But honestly, guys, looking at the AHL, the chemistry's perfect with playmaker, sniper, playmaker. We've got sniper, two-way forward, sniper. We've got a playmaker, power forward, and then two-way forward, playmaker. I'm very, very happy with how this is looking. And then on the blue line, we've got offensive two-way, defensive defenseman. So I wonder if maybe Pearson here is a better scheme fit. Not really, but we could do this over Thompson and just let the young guys have the third pair. I actually might want to do that. So honestly, guys, give me all your thoughts. I mean, the team looks really good. I don't think I have any complaints about it or anything to really change here, right? I mean, we get a +5, and these are the guys we want. Lutz is an absolute goal scorer. He shoots a ton. Zadina shoots a decent amount. He's not really good at it, but he's got 50 assists in both years. And then McKenna, I did tell him to shoot more this year. So, I mean, but anything more than one, I mean, he's playing on the top line, not even taking 150 shots. So, like, maybe a few more shots would be good for him there. But honestly, guys, I'm loving this team. This looks really, really good. I mean, we should make the playoffs. I'd be really surprised if we didn't with this core, especially now that we have an elite goaltender. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, guys. I'm loving this team. I keep saying it, but I mean, from where we started to where we are now, it's been a long journey, but here we are, ready to go. Let's see if we can make some noise in the playoffs. We got to make it first. That's in the next one, though. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
It's a free for all.